Hey YouTube, Black Cat here again. Here to present to you my next deck profile. I'm doing pure dinosaurs again. Totally different engine this time. It's still running Lost World, and I've made a lot of changes due to the new format because this is post May 2018 ban list. Anyway, let's get started. So first off, I decided to do this and play triple Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Now that the format has completely changed, True Dracos are like Lost Masterpiece, Pen Magician's Lost Astrocraft Sorcerer. I figured I can now play 3 Tyrannos because it's a lot easier for me to run him now, and thanks to some of the new changes, yeah, he's really good, and he's still one of the best boss monsters in the game. The fact that you could pop one monster from your hand or on the field, and then flip all your opponent's monsters in face down defense, so it's generally Book of Eclipse actually, and then he attacks all monsters, and he does not destroy monsters in defense position. He actually sends them, and then you get to inflict 1,000 attack or 1,000 points of damage to your opponent for each monster that was sent by this effect. So it's really, really good. And the fact that he's got 3,500 attack points, it's just really easy to do a lot of damage. And plus, it's easy to summon him just by banishing 2 dinosaurs from your graveyard. So yeah, in my opinion, one of the best boss monsters ever. All right, next up we got 2 Overtext Quatless. In my opinion, I think this is what made dinosaurs a lot more unfair than they were originally. But as long as you send this guy to the graveyard, like through the effect of Oviraptor, for example, you get to add one or any evolution pill card from your deck to your hand. So it's just really good to search out your double evolution pill, and then you can do a lot of good combos with this guy. And the fact that you can also negate spells and traps once per turn by popping 1 dinosaur from your hand or on the field, it's just really busted. All right, next up, since dinosaurs haven't really been touched like at all for a long while, we still get to play this at 3, which is triple Oviraptor. When this guy is normal or special summon, you get to take 1 dinosaur from your deck to your hand, or you can send a dinosaur from your deck to the graveyard. So this guy can search out Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. You can also send Overtext Quatless to the graveyard just so you can get your pill. And also once per turn, you can pop 1 dinosaur monster on the field. Doesn't matter whose field it is, as long as it's dinosaur. And you get to special summon 1 level 4 or lower dinosaur from your graveyard. So it's just really good. Oviraptor is really awesome, and artworks are even badass too. Alright, moving on, we have... now, since my engine's a little different, I have to play the normal monster engine because I can amplify a lot of link plays with it, but this is what I like to play. I like to play triple Sabersaurus, or you can do Megalo Smasher X, one or the other, as long as it's 3 of the same copy regardless. But anyway, I like him because the fact that he's got 1,900 attack points, and again, normal monster, I can do a lot of link plays with this quite easily, and I'll explain what I mean by that in just a moment. Moving on, we got only 2 though, 2 baby Ceratosaurus. I used to run it at 3, but 3 started to get clunky now because the way the format has changed, and I think 2 is actually enough. Plus, I had to make room for some other cards that I wanted to play, and I kind of like playing baby Ceratosaurus at 2 more than 3 now, just because of that reason. But yeah, I think 2 is still enough. You can still do quite a lot with just 2 of them. And then for the singles, as far as dinosaurs go, we have 1 Miscellaneous. Too bad it's only at 1, but still not a bad card. He's basically a hand trap himself. You whenever you like, let's say you were about to summon Oviraptor, but someone tries to Veiler it. As long as this is in your hand, you can discard it, and your dinosaurs cannot be touched during the main phases. That way you can pull off all your combos without any worries. We have 1 Tyranno Infinity, which gains 1,000 attack points for every banished dinosaur. And yeah, it's just really good, and he's actually helped me OTK my opponent quite a lot. So definitely play this at 1. Well, definitely play it, because it's really not hard to bring it out, and plus you can also beat over Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon quite easily with this guy as long as you have enough dinosaurs. Because the fact that Crystal Wing can only honest himself with a low 5 or above monster. And then next up we got Giant Rex, which honestly I can't say much else. If he's banished, you get to revive it, and also he gains 200 attack points for each dinosaur monster. So this guy's just really good and helps with a lot of plays as well. Alright, for our hand traps, aside from Miscellaneous, we have 2 Drone Lockbird. In my opinion, still one of the better hand traps as well, because if your opponent adds 1 card from his deck to his hand, you get to discard it, and for the duration of the turn, neither player can add cards from his deck to his hand, so it's really good. And also to stun certain other plays, you can also play this. 2 Ash Blossoms, which is really good in this deck as well. And plus, it also boosts your materials for double evolution pill. So that's why you should run like Drone Lockbird, 2 Ash, and then also this is really good in Dinosaurs, which is 2 Ghost Reapers. Because dinosaurs have a lot of room in their extra deck where you can like fill in some gaps and then just like Ghost Reaper as long as your opponent has more monsters than you do. And you could to basically slow them down by destroying like their most, or banishing rather, I'm sorry, because Ghost Reaper banishes every copy of whatever you call in your extra deck, or reveal, however way you want to put it. And your opponent has to banish every copy of it as he has. Right now my friend still has my double Helix, so I'm still waiting for him to return it, but in generally that's what I use. I use Totally Awesome as a target. With Pen Magicians, I was actually using Oddity's Absolute, because that way they can't, because the thing is with Pen Magicians, when they were using the Absolute, when they were bringing out Vortex Dragon, they were using the Absolute method, and of course if Absolute's gone, they have to properly summon Vortex, which is not possible in Pen Magicians. I'm sure it is now because they have to change their strategies entirely, but yeah, that was usually my primary target. And yeah, you could pretty much just fit in whatever you want. Anyway, let's move on to our spells. We have Triple Lost World. Really badass field spell. It lowers the attack and defense points of all monsters except dinosaurs by 500. And also, whenever you summon a monster, or summon a dinosaur monster, you get to give your opponent a Dureg token, which is this right here. And what's neat about this is like the point is to keep your token alive, keep your opponent from destroying it. Because the thing is, when he has that token, he can't target any monsters except tokens. So it doesn't just restrict him from targeting dinosaurs. It's just targeting monsters in general. So that means he can't target his own monster. So against Blue Eyes, that actually is a problem, because like if they can't target Maiden or use the effect of Sage to target an effect monster, they can't do that. And plus the tokens are treated as normal monsters, so that's also another problem. But essentially, like, you play this, you summon Oviraptor, give your opponent a token, send, you could do, like, let's say I sent Sabersaurs, right? And then I decide to pop the token, but I save my token, and that's where you aim for your baby Ceresaurus, because whenever a normal monster, it doesn't matter who it belongs to, as long as it's a normal monster, you can pop one dinosaur from your hand or your deck instead. So, like, you aim for the baby Ceresaurus just so your opponent keeps that token, and then you can get like multiple dinosaurs out on the field in one turn. So that's why Lost World is such a great field spell, which is surprising why they never hit this until now, but still, it's better that, I think it's fine just as it is. Anyway, moving on, we got triple terraformings, because you need to get that Lost World as quickly as possible. So yeah, definitely play this at 3. So it's like you're essentially playing Lost World at 6. And then we play triple Fossil Dig. That way you can get your Oviraptor, your Miscellaneous, basically any of those monsters in your hand as quickly as possible. So yeah, definitely play Fossil Dig. Next up we got 2 Double Evolution Pill. You banish a dinosaur and a non-dinosaur from your hand or your graveyard to special summon 1 level 7 or higher dinosaur monster, ignoring summoning conditions. So really busted card. I would play it at 3, but for right now I think 2 is still good, because I gotta make room for like other cards just so my other plays can be more effective. And then next up we got double Cosmic Cyclone. I was running Twin Twisters, but I decided to switch to Cosmics because sometimes it's just better to get rid of like problematic spells or traps rather than just popping them in case your opponent has a way to recycle them. So like I feel like Banishment's a little bit better, so that's why I decided to run the Cosmic Cyclones in this deck. And of course we got 1 Painful Decision. This helps me get my Sabersaurs to the graveyard so I can add one to my hand as quickly as possible. And this is where the link plays get interesting, which again I'll get to in just a moment. But and then God card right here, Raigeki, or God Spell, if however way you want it. And this is the original Raigeki, by the way. So yeah, I definitely play 1 Painful, 1 Raigeki. It really helps a lot with this deck, and trust me, like I said, I'll explain this a little bit in detail in just a moment. And then for the traps, we only have 3. I play 2 Quaking Mirror Force. Sometimes, like, if I can't get Conductor Tyranno out in time, I do have an alternative which helps just as good, which is Quaking. And then we have the 1 Solemn Warning, which is good in pretty much any deck. So definitely play. I definitely would like to play. I would recommend playing those more. And then for the extra deck, we have 2 Lagia. Basically, he's Solemn Judgment. He can negate any summon, any spell or trap just by detaching 2 materials, but that's it. He can only do it 1 time. one Dolka, which is not once per turn, so you can detach one Xyz material and negate a monster effect, and then Baguska. So yeah, that's basically what I run for as far as Link or Xyz monsters go. I don't really, because again, this deck amplifies Link summoning a lot more than Xyz, so I feel like that's one of the reasons why I like to do it this way. And then speaking of which, for our Links, we got 2 Link Spider, because the fact that we run normal monsters in this deck, it is easy for me to bring out multiple Link Spiders. We also run 1 Proxy, 1 Underclock Taker, Binary Sorceress, Decode, Trigate, and finally, Firewall. This is our entire Link library. This is how I like to run it, because like the more materials you have in your graveyard, the easier it is for you to pull out your double evolution pill, which is why I run it exactly this way, because like I said, it's quite easy to amplify everything like that. Now for the side deck, I do often switch out my engines, but I run 1 Jurek Elo. Sometimes I like to add a little synchro into my main deck. 1 Petite Pteranodon, and then we do run a small Kaiju engine as well on the side. So we have Godarla and Doggeron. I wish I had a Gamma Seal, but unfortunately these are the only ones I got. But we also have the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. And then as far as cards for the main deck, we got Gold Sarcophagus. And of course, like for the extra deck, I'm just, for the side deck, I'm just throwing in like really powerful extra deck monsters like Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, Totally Awesome. Well, Trishula is just out on the side. It's not really a Reaper target. Sometimes, like I said, I switch out like some of my engines just to get a little synchro play, and Trishula is one of those synchro plays right now. I'm still trying to make room for trying to figure out like what else I want to put in the side and extra deck for right now, just so I can have more Reaper targets. But yeah, it's really good as it is. So anyway, let me explain the Link format of this deck. So let me real quick shuffle up my deck, and then I'll show you what I was talking about earlier, why I run the Saber Swords to amplify my Link plays a lot more. So let's say this was my hand. Hang on one second. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out my cards real quick and then reshuffle. Okay, so I forgot to mention one thing, that this deck is also built to mainly go second, because you kind of want to see what your opponent is up to and then try to see if you can stun them in any given way. But yeah, anyway, so let's say this was our hand, right? I have an Ash, a Soul Eating, a Painful, Terraforming, Fossil Stick, alright? So if I were to go second, my opponent was about to search out a card through Pot of Desires, let him pay his cost. You pitch the Ash Blossom, and then, he can't get his 2 cards. And once he's got a board set up, let's start things off by playing Terraforming. Alright, with Terraforming, you want to search out your Lost World, okay? So that's step 1. Now we activate our Lost World, which will be set step 2. Next we play our Fossil deck to search out Miscellaneous. Because, you don't want your opponent to stun you at any given point, and the fact that Miscellaneous is at 1, that's why Fossil deck is very necessary at 3 right now. So we add this to our hand. Now, this is what we have left. So what do we go from here? I suggest playing the Painful Decision. Send one of our Saber Sources to the graveyard, which I'm about to do right now. So send this guy to the grave, and then add this to our hand. Alright, now that we got pretty much everything already set up, let's go ahead and summon out our Soul Eating Oviraptor. So we normal summon this. I give my opponent a token, okay? And we'll put it in his center main monster zone, and I'll get to that in just a moment, why I would do that. Next, I use Soul Eating Oviraptor. Someone decides to try to, well, he can't Valor me because he can't target my token, but he tries to Ghost Ogre me or something. So we'll play this, that way I cannot be disrupted. So discard Miscellaneous Source. That way, I'm free to do whatever I want from here on out. So we now send Quatless to the grave. And when Quatless is sent, of course, as I mentioned, you get this to your hand. Alright. Now that everything's set, so let's get our big Link play going. We'll use Oviraptor's effect to pop the token, but we're going to save it using Lost World's effect. So instead, we're going to pop a baby Ceresaurus from our deck instead. That way we can revive Sabersaurus. Do not revive Miscellaneous. Don't make a mistake on that. You revive the Saber. Okay. And now Baby Ceresaurus' effect goes off, letting you special summon a lower 4 or below dinosaur. So we're going to go ahead and just bring out... we'll bring out our Giant Rex. Okay. Now that that's ready, now we do our link place. So here we do this. Use the first Sabersaurus that we brought back. Okay, let me move this a little bit to the side here. Okay, so we're going to use Sabersaurus as link material. Oops, I'm sorry about that. Adjust the camera. Okay, now we bring out Link Spider. Okay, my opponent still has the token. It's lined up exactly where I wanted it. Because again, this deck's also going to be very important in how you place your cards. And next we use Link Spider's effect now to special summon the Saber that we added to our hand earlier due to painful decision. And there we go. Now we got another Sabersaurus. What do we do from here? We link summon again using, let's see. Let me double check something. Okay, so we're going to use Sabersaurus and Giant Rex together to make Proxy because it just requires 2 monsters to summon. Okay, now we link summon one more time and check it out. First turn Decode Talker. And it's pointing to the token and my Oviraptor. So now my Decode Talker is now at 2,800 attack points. Because he's not a dinosaur, his attack points are weaker than they originally were. But still, that's pretty good. Alright, now, this is where the fun really begins. First things first, we play Double Evolution Pill now. We'll banish any one of the Link monsters we just used, so I'll just get rid of the Link Spider and Giant Rex. And now, we get our big boss guy. With that, we're going to go ahead and special summon Tyranno. There we go. First turn Tyranno as well. And that was a lot of plays too. Alright. Next we use Tyranno's effect to pop the Oviraptor in order to flip all our opponent's monsters face down defense. And then we... Oh, and also I forgot to mention that Giant Rex comes back after it's banished one time, or at least once per turn, so we bring him back. So now we use Miscellaneous Source effect, banish himself plus 3 other dinosaurs. So we'll banish Quatlus, Raptor, and one of the Sabers. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. I'm just... So anyway, so we banish those 4, and then we bring out our Tyranno Infinity, which now has 4,000 attack points. So we enter our battle phase. We use Giant Rex just to get rid of the token because my opponent's not going to need that anymore. Conductor Tyranno will attack all other monsters, do a lot of damage. Decode will attack directly, and Tyranno Infinity will attack directly. And that should be pretty much a game right there if my opponent doesn't have an out to any of this. So like, yeah, that's really a busted move. It's a quick second turn OTK. That's why I like to play it this way. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.